Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ila hadrat Nabi Mustafa Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa alihi wa sahbihi dzurriyyat baitihi wa tabi'in lahum ihsan ila yaumiddin. Thumma ila arwahi abaina mahadna ajdadna wal jamil muslimin wal muslimat mu'minin wal mu'minat al ahyar amwat syai'un lillah lahumul fatihah. Alhamdulillah. Iya kena oleh Rabbul Ladzi an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now we shall continue with about Allah, the third part now. Now, if you have gone through the first and the second lectures, I am now, inshallah, guiding you to a stage higher than previously you had been guided. It doesn't mean that whatever you had learned and been guided become useless or abandoned. It is simply that a student will go to primary school in Singapore or Malaysia, secondary school, and then they go to the college, then university. So we at the stage of the college now, after leaving the primary and secondary school, but notwithstanding, when you're guiding people on this path, you still have to teach them beginning the primary, secondary, and then now the college level. Okay. Now, you see the college level. I've done. If you read through the first and the second lecture, I make it a synopsis. You can see the diagram. You see the essence and the low mahfuz. At the secondary level, we had thought about the side of the sifat, hakikat, and marifat. Okay, and we learned the various works of the sifat, the hakikat, and then the marifat. But now we come to a level you have learned, you had learned that the essence and the low mahfuz, the sifat, and the essence, the hakikat, both are manifestation. And that didn't run from what I had taught or you had learned previously. Both low mahfuz and the essence are nothing more but manifestation. Being manifestation, powerless. Nothing, can't do anything, powerless. Zero power. Okay. But in the secondary level, you had learned that the low mahfuz moved because of the essence moving. And the essence move it because of the subtle self, yang Maha Agung. That's correct. But now we come to a level to understand that we had at the secondary level stated, the law mahfuz and the essence are but manifestation. One is mungkinul wujud, one is the wajibul wujud. Notwithstanding, these two are still creations, and being creations, they are manifestation. Being manifestation, they are powerless. Powerless, can't move, can't do anything. Powerless. So, when we learn that the law mahfuz move because of the essence, now we come to a further knowledge that the law mahfuz and the essence cannot move. The one that moves them is the prime mover behind the law mahfuz and the essence, and that is the subtle self or the maha'alus. That is the prime mover, the powerhouse there. The power is there. So you see this diagram. Did the ghost move? No. Did the cloth, white cloth move? No. Did you see the prime mover? I'm sure you can see the prime mover under the cloth, right? That's the one that moved the cloth and moved the ghost, right? So if you understand this correctly, you see here, the law mahfuz, the essence, they move because the subtle self moved the essence and moved the law mahfuz. The law mahfuz and the essence, totally powerless. Totally powerless, zero, nil, no power, nothing, cannot do anything. So they move because of the subtle self. That means we just take away the blanket and show directly, hey, he's hiding there. We take away the two blankets and show you who hiding there. Right. But we can come at this stage because you had learned about the sifat and the hakikat. The first layer and the second layer. Now we understand that we take out both layers. Take it out. And you say, hey, who's hiding there? Like in this ghost there, right? You take out the clothes and you see the boy there. Inside here, when you take these two out, you see the maha'alus or the subtle self is moving the essence and the law mahfuz. Because the essence and law mahfuz are powerless, they are just manifestation. Okay? Bearing that in mind, keep that in mind as we go along. You must keep that in mind. That the law mahfuz and the essence are just manifestation, powerless. They move because the subtle self, the powerhouse behind that, move them. You must keep that in mind as we go along. These are the higher level. Okay. So now we go to the veil lifted. So once you understood that the law mahfuz and the essence move because the subtle self that moves these two are powerless, and you keep that in your mind, the veil is lifted. Okay? Thou was heedless of this. Now you were not taught this. You were not taught this at the secondary level. Now you are taught. We have removed the veil, and now you can see it very clearly. The prime mover, the powerhouse, underneath the two layers, behind or clothed by the two layers. Now, so you see a train, people riding train, bullet train, what is that? And then you see people traveling on sea, on ship. Then you see by plane, by car, motorcycles, so on. Right. But then you see what Allah says. Verily, we move the children of Adam. We carry them on the land and the sea. We, not the essence, right? And definitely not the creation by themselves move. Neither the essence can move it. These are powerless. But we, who is the we? The powerhouse behind. Now, every time you see the master's car on the road, take away that blanket, and you can see only one existence throughout, infinite, the subtle self. Right? So you see all the cars on the highway are so many. Throw away that blanket, or that picture or blanket or manifestation. Throw it away. Go hiding and move this, the subtle self, the one that have power, the one that have power, the only existence, the infinite essence. Okay? And you see, family have dinner, people eat and so on, right? The parents work, bring home money to feed the family. Workers work, have money, and they spend on food and eat. Throw away that picture. It's just a picture, manifestation. Throw it away. And you see, we have provided for you, and be grateful to Allah. You see, who was in action? The subtle self. The subtle. These are just pictures. Throw them away. You can see infinite essence behind this picture that you see people eating all that. Throw them out, and you can see the subtle self. Subtle self. And this is, you see, and we provided for you, and that is the game. That is the game. He say, life in this world is amusement and play. He's playing with himself. He's playing with his subtle self. The biggest self, the Akbar, is playing with his subtle self, the Latif. No other existence. The elephant plays with his tail, shaking the tail. No other existence. And he said, Allah that gives one for plenty, and to him shall be your return. Of course, there's no others. What you see people eating, all that, these are just picture, dead picture. Like photo. You hang on the wall. It come to life not because of the essence. Essence also no power. It come to life because the subtle self that moved them. But take away the picture, and you can see the subtle self. And this is the game. Life in this world is amusement and play. He played with himself, the bigger self, the Akbar, playing with his subtle self, the Latif. Okay? And you see the tsunami. Wow. You see earthquake, fire, flood, explosion in the air, shipwreck, air disasters, rail disasters, road disasters. And you had learned now, you had learned. And people cry, why I got so poor? Why so many deaths? Why must this happen? Right. But you have learned. It's a picture. Strip them out. Pull the blanket. And you see is the subtle self in action. The only existence, the only power, the only prime mover that makes the picture move as if alive. The prime mover is the subtle self. So if it is a subtle self, the only existence, infinite essence, infinite. How can Allah be unjust? Ah, how can He be unjust? To whom? When you throw the blanket away, you see infinite is the subtle self alone. He moved the picture. So how can He be unjust? That's why I say Allah never unjust. And if you don't come to this stage, it's difficult to accept 100% that Allah is never unjust. Okay? Because so many deaths, million died from all these disasters. Million died. Even young infants, old, babies, girls, young boy, innocent people got killed. And many could not accept this. Even if you look at the Israel war, many cannot accept it. So many deaths, so many barbaric acts, so many killings, so many. Now throw away the blanket and see who is acting. And how many actors is there? That is just a picture that moved because the prime mover behind moved it. Throw away the picture, you see the Mahalus alone. So having a ball game, a ball with the greater self, the elephant shake the tail, the elephant play with his tail, the Akbar play with the Latif. Okay. So you see, to whom is unjust? Where? Once you took away the manifestation, which are powerless, cannot move, the low mahfuz and the essence move because of the prime mover behind it. Throw away these two layers, and you can see the prime mover behind that move these two is the subtle self. And it's infinite, absolute, infinite essence. No other existence, only the subtle self, who is the greater self, having a ball. So he's unjust to whom? That's why I say, I never unjust. To whom? When you strip the layers, you see only the subtle self. Unjust to whom? Indeed, Allah wrongs none. Who? Who? Never will ye be dealt with unjustly in the very least. It's not you in action, the prime mover. That's why he said life in this world is amusement and play to him. He's playing with himself. It doesn't involve any others. If it involves any others, then he cannot be infinite essence. Okay, then he will be cruel. He will be unjust because there is another party which are being tortured, maltreated, and so on. But it's none. One is take away the two layers, which are just manifestation, powerless, nothing. Take away a picture, and you see, oh, this is the prime mover that moved these two. You realize there's only one existence, infinite essence. And he's having a ball or having a game with himself. So it's cruel too. On. Even I'm looking at you, and look at me. We are just pictures. I strip the pictures before and myself. And you see that all these lectures, listeners, all this, behind it is the subtle self. We are just pictures, powerless manifestation, cannot move, nothing. And we move, I move my hand, you listen, looking at me, you move your face, move your body. The subtle self move it. We are just picture. It's like we took photograph of ourselves and hang it on the wall. It cannot move. But if we can move, now we are moving because the subtle self behind the two layers of Mahfuz as well as the essence. So how can Allah be unjust? How can He be unjust? To whom? Where? Who? Cannot be. The only existent is Him. And you see, the religious factors, Islam, Christian, Buddhism, Hindus, and many others, right? Now, at this stage, I hope you can really absorb what I say. You strip this picture, and you don't see imam or priest or Buddhist monk or Hindu swami or priest. You don't see. You see the subtle self that make the picture move. Picture move. And in the end, everything annihilated, everything destroyed, that remain my countenance, that is my wajah, wajah yang maha halus, the countenance, the subtle part of it, right? Everything disappear. Yes. That means at the end of the day, the two layers diminish, gone. It's just a manifestation. And the one really, that time, the subtle self is exposed. From me and to me, it will come back because the only existence, the only prime mover is me. The only prime mover is me. I move it, I act, I do everything, and the picture moves. It is amusement and play. Okay? So now if you strip away this picture that you see, throw this layer out, you must not comment. To understand, you must not comment. Because these are pictures come alive because of the prime mover. Okay? And also this one, drug addict, alcoholism, gambling, illegitimate child. All these are just picture, manifestation. The subtle self acting all this. It's not that they want to be this. The drug addict never want to be drug addict. Many tried their very best to come out of the addiction. Many people have tried very much to come out from alcoholism or gambling or fornication. They got sex addict also, no, in the world. I remember Padeka, who was talking on the secondary level. He said, the door of temptation once opened, very difficult to close. Yes, why very difficult to close? Because the subtle self is in action, not the manifestation. Okay? But of course, we are now at the college level. when you're talking about secondary level, yes, you must explain that way. But one up here, you cannot go back there. Okay? So therefore, you can see people addicted here, not because they want to, they never exist. They are just picture, manifestation. It is the action of the subtle that make this thing alive. It's up to the subtle part to cease or to continue. And we have no say because we also don't exist. We also part of the picture. Okay? Similarly, you have the juvenile. Instead of going to school, become gangsters, smoke cigarettes, drink liquor, and whatnot. We have nothing to say. Strip away this picture, you see the subtle self. And therefore Allah said, and Allah inspired it of what is wrong and what is right. Secondary level. Allah inspired whom? Allah inspired whom? Cannot inspire the picture. Picture is dead. No power, nothing inspired whom? Therefore, the elephant is playing with his tail. Elephant playing with his tail. The Akbar playing with the Latif. See? And again, he leaves straying whom he pleases. He guide whom he pleases. Well, he guide whom? How can you guide a picture? You want to try? You take a photo of your brother and talk to the photo. Hey, stop smoking. I saw you. Talk to the picture. You think you can make the picture stop? No. You understand? So he's playing with it. That's why it's very clear. That's what Sheikh Abdul Qadir say. He created creation. He wants to know himself, which I don't agree. He created creation because he said in the Quran for amusement and play. Right. At the end of the day, everything destroyed except him. What is being destroyed? The picture is still there. So, verily, all in the hands of Allah. True, because you strip away the layers, you see is the subtle part in action all along. Verily, everything in the hand of the subtle part. Be it good or bad, yes. The subtle part can be good, can be bad. He ascertained them from the outset, yes. And you look, a person fell in love with a lady, and he cannot forget her, no. The heart beat so loud, thinking of her, longing her. Hey, the subtle part is in action, not you. But as if you felt it's you. But when you have this knowledge, you know, hey, ini sakit angau, you know. This guy is hallucination, you know. He doesn't exist. It's the subtle self that play his part, you know. That's why the good and the bad in Allah's hand. He ascertained them from the outset, and the subtle self act in accordance with the law mahfuz, the grand design. Right? Therefore, there's strict compliance. No way there's a diversion. Strict compliance with the grand design of the law mahfuz, because the subtle self is the prime mover behind all these things. And you can see here, but if they turn away from the Prophet, the Rasulullah, remember that the only duty is a clear delivery of the message. So when Rasulullah was upset, sallallahu that many of his ummah still unbelievers, what did Allah say? Hey, your job to pass message, you know, you have nothing to be said. You know? If their spurning is hard on your mind, and you are able to seek a tunnel in the ground or ladder to the sky to bring them a sign or proof, if it were Allah's will he could gather them together onto true guidance. So be not thou among those who are ignorant. So again, my fellow friend, companion, don't be ignorant. I did show you, So don't you and cry because wow, many a Palestine died. Many people still unbelievers. Now you have a lot of LGBT and all that. Don't you carried away by this? Throw away the picture and see his action. Only action. Only one actor, the subtle self. With that, if he's alone, where got LGBT? Where got murder? Where got victim? Nothing. It's just amusement and play of the Almighty, which is subtle stuff. I already bring you up to this level. No? You can go down to teach them the secondary level. I have no problem. But for yourself, how they brought you to this level, don't you come down and tell me the action move, I'm going to knock your head. Joto, sir. You forgot the lesson, Right. When you talk to me, you talk the creation move because of the essence, watch out, the hand come, right. That means you have the veil has not been lifted. Okay. Primary level definitely not lifted. Secondary level partially lifted. At this level, the amusement and peace very clear. He himself is doing it alone. That's why he say, verily, O Muhammad, you cannot guide everyone whom you love. You cannot guide, Where is my mother? Where is my sister? My wife? Hey, that a picture, man. Picture, dead picture. The one that behind the picture, the subtle self. And that's why Allah said, you cannot guide. It's me. It's up to the subtle self to follow what had been listed in the Law Mahfuz. It's not for you. It's the only actor, the subtle self. So, secondary level, we say, of course, it's Sharia. He said the life in this world is just a temporary life. That is the normal interpretation of the Sharia. But our primary level, we say that, we are the Allah actors. And this world is the stage, and we have to follow the script given. Right? Then the secondary stage, we learn, hey, what you see are the sifat, that one, the move it is the hakikat, the essence. Now you go up this stage, where got essence, where got the sifat, all these are dead things, cannot move. Then you see, you learn that Allah that guide them is up to him, up to the subtle self to act. Being guided, not being guided is alone. He amused himself, right? And therefore Allah said, hey Muhammad, it's not your duty, to do all this. It's a subtle self job. You don't exist. Okay? And it is no concern of you, Muhammad, whether he will punish these people or not. For they are evildoers. It's up to the subtle self. But you look at this, I'm telling you. Now you understand why many serial killers keep on killing, and still not caught. And people are angry, why? What the police are doing? Oh, screaming, so many people got killed, you are not caught this. And then people asking, the Israeli are killing the Palestine. genocide. Oh, the whole world screaming. Oh, hey, you don't play this game with me. I'm warning. Otherwise, Joto's not come on. Yeah, I brought you to the level. Look, strip away all this screaming thing, all this killing, strip it away. And you see the subtle part, the subtle self is an action. And therefore, why Allah never take action? Why Allah never give them a proper beating? Why Allah never send some kind of punishment? Hey, look, it is himself playing with himself. What? And yet, the one who say, let Allah let down the punishment, that also the subtle self talking, you know? Right. Now you understand. So if Allah don't bring down disasters, the Israeli or what, hey, keep quiet, man. This is the subtle self playing with self. We don't exist. We are just manifestation. Once you understand it, you see a level plane. Only one existent, Esa, infinite, only him. Allah playing with his lesser self. Unto Allah belong whosoever is in the heaven. Yes. And whatsoever in the earth. He forgive whom he will and punish whom he will. Sure. He is his subtle self that playing the job, playing the part. It's up to him. No need to forgive also can. Forgive also can. Right? And definitely Allah is forgiving and merciful. And you see a sign say, our universe is expanding. Oh, the whole scientific world become hoo-ha. Oh, we have proof from the this telescope, Hubble telescope, that we prove, Hubble show that the universe is moving fast and expanding from the Hubble telescope. Hey, you tell me the Hubble saw it and that the universe expanding, I'm going to knock your head, because you see, it is we, Allah, we who are steadily expanding it. It is such a self expanding it. Okay? If you are talk is a universe expanding it, you are downgraded to secondary school, back secondary level. Go back there. You cannot go this college level. Okay? Now we are going to the university level, inshallah, in the future. So bear in mind. But of course, when you teach, yes, you cannot straight away the people come, you teach the higher level. I think I'm going to have problem with you, right? Teach them the primary, secondary, college, university. Okay. Then you see here, the planet moved by itself. And what the scientists say, this is called law of planetary motion. Law of planetary motion. The law is an invisible law that guides this planet move in its orbit, you know. But no, it's the subtle self in action, and Allah say, it is He who created the night and the day, the sun and the moon. They swim along each in an orbit. Yes, it is Allah, the subtle part that caused this to move in the orbit, in their own orbit, respective orbit. There's no collision, nothing, you know. And again, the sun evaporate 16 million tons of water in the form of vapor. And at the same time, the cloud let go 16 million tons of vapor as rain. You know, it's equilibrium. And you say this is science. Not science. Allah say, it is He who sent down water in due measure from the sky. It's the subtle self. You know, how can you, nobody can measure, you know, equal 16 million. Nobody can, you know. But it's the subtle self. No problem to him. And you see, if our sun was just 20% less or more massive, the earth will be colder than the present day Mars, or hotter than the present-day Venus. But you see, the scientists say this is just nicely created, so we can live. What nicely created? The subtle self is there. The same again, most of the fundamental constant in our theories appear fine-tuned. Fine-tuned? No need to fine-tune. The subtle self is behind it. What you mean fine-tuned? In the sense that if they are altered by only modest amount, the universe would be qualitatively different and in many cases unsuitable for development of life. It's not fine-tuned. The subtle self is there. Make sure it be this way, The coincidences of planetary condition, a single sun, the combination of the Earth and Sun distance, move like that. These are carefully designed just to make a living human life possible. It's not carefully designed. The subtle self is there. Most knowing, most wise, the subtle self. And therefore Allah says, I created 7 heaven in full harmony. Yes, because the subtle self is behind it. Full harmony with one another. You can see no fault in this creation. And turn thy vision upon it once more. Can you see any flaw? Definitely no. Because the one that's in action is the subtle self. And therefore, Allah is the sustainer needed by all. That subtle self, that is the one to sustain. Okay? But of course, everywhere you turn, it's a subtle self. Wajah, my continent. And you see, big ship or cruise traveling on the sea, you tame the sea. So a big cruise, big, maybe 5 football field, very heavy, can sail through the sea, tame the sea. You have the animal, or you put in the zoo, you tame the animal. And you tame the sky, the wind, the sky, you fly with a squirrel gown, and they can land on a sponge without parachute. It's shown on TV, So they also can sustain the wind. But it's not these people are doing it. You can see very clearly. Allah made subject to you. Allah make it subject to you on the earth and the ship that sail through the sea by His command. It is subjected to you. In other words, the subtle self that caused all this, and the picture as if was taming the sea, taming the wild animals, taming the wind, all that. But it's not the picture, remember. It's the subtle self, absolute, infinite. Okay? We have subjected them, the animals. We have made subservient to him the wind. It's not we are just picture. No? Okay. We are nothing more. At the end of the day, Allah roll us like a scroll, the picture. Similarly, you see, retarded, senile, insane, dementia, blind, deaf, then handicapped, ill health, a lot of cancers, leukemia, and other diseases. Why? Okay. These are the people who don't even have a primary and secondary understanding. Okay. Why? And what Jesus say? Wherefore or why is the gate of hell? Yet a foolish one among us had been saying an outrageous lie about God. As if, hey, why God? Why you are doing all this? Why? Hey, you picture, shut up. I give you an example. Like example. you see a wood carving, or you can see a wooden bench, or a wood carving of a bird, an owl, wood carving of the owl, wooden owl. And the wooden owl say, wow, I'm so thirsty, man. I need a drink. No. You look at it and you say, it's not. The wooden owl is talking. It's the wood that encompasses the whole shape of the owl. Okay. Similarly, we see us talking. It is the subtle self that encompasses all of us. The sifat and also the essence, the zat. And it's a subtle self that talks. Okay? So if you see people criticizing Allah, don't scold them. Don't do anything, because when you strip away that layer, the first and the second layer, is the subtle self having amusement and play. Okay? And therefore Allah said, how can you think? How can you decide? Right? The one thing decide is the subtle self in compliance with the law mahfuz, the grand design. Woe to him. Okay? And because you don't see this, you show no reverence. That means if you scold the guy, not only does the guy show no reverence, you who scolded him also show no reverence. Because if you know that the guy scolded God is the subtle self having amusement and play, then you got no right to scold him. You are doing a wrong thing too. So what I can say is, like Pak Pandey say, got eye, see, got ear, listen, got mouth, shut up. Clap your hand, man, pretend don't know. So everything is just amusement and play. So they have no just estimate. No. When you interfere, you have no just estimate about why. Therefore, he is the manifest, and he's the hidden, very clear. Okay? You see the manifest, the hidden, you see the manifest is the creation, mungkinul wujud. You see the hidden is the essence, wajibul wujud. Right? You see that the hidden. But both of these are just still life, still form. But when they're encompasses by the subtle self, then the subtle self moves them. They become alive and move them. Therefore, Allah says, I'm the manifest, I'm the hidden. So, understood this. There's only the subtle self. So when you throw away the mungkinul wujud, throw away the layer of wajibul wujud, you see the movement, all action, everything is the subtle self. And therefore it's correct. We come from the subtle self, we come back to the subtle self. You don't exist. Okay. So which part that you say didn't belong to Allah? Which one? Right. You see the whole world. You say, oh, that part doesn't belong to Allah. Hey, those parts exist because the subtle self is behind that causes it to exist, manifest. The subtle self, subtle self in transformation become that picture, and the picture become alive. Okay, so which part that you deny? You see infinity, Esa, We take out you annihilate, destroy the two layers. You see the subtle self, the only existent. So which part that you deny belong? Every part belong to him. Now, which of your Lord's favor will you dispute? Everything is his action alone, nothing else but his action. Because the two, first layer, second layer, imaginary, mirage, hologram, still picture or something like that. Powerless, nothing. Is the subtle self that in action. So which of the subtle self action that you deny? So God does not wrong people at all. It is they who wrong themselves. But then again, you see the subtle self in action. Okay. Woe to you, people, for the way you dislike God. Because if they don't know, they always, trample on God's rights and God's absolute existence, absolute power, infinity. Because they thought that these are caused by God. These are caused. No, what? No need to cause to anybody. Nobody else exists himself. If I slap my hand, I know it's not painful because I can gauge what power to use. God knows he's playing with himself. Nobody else exists. So don't you blame God for all the wickedness, evil. And when you look at this, when you understood this, and you look at Satan and Iblis, you also say, what the hell? These two are, powerless. And they admitted, I can only, influence those that you have marked for me, I agree. The subtle self that in action, not the Satan, not the Iblis. No, subtle self. You see, Iblis also not immortal. No. Satan also not immortal. They're just manifestation. No power, nothing. It's Allah, the subtle part in action, because Allah wants to have amusement, play. And are we angry Allah having amusement and play with us? No, we don't exist. We manifestation, imagination, fata morgana, mirage. Okay? Now, so be very clear here, very clear, because inshallah after the next week will be Q&A. You can ask the question there. We go further up. We are looking at the tail now, but later on we're looking at the greater self, the relationship with the greater self and the subtle self. Now we're talking about the subtle self, relationship with the essence and the low mahfuz. Right? At the secondary level, we talk about the low mahfuz and the essence, relationship with the subtle self. At this level, we are looking at the subtle self relationship with the essence as well as the low mahfuz. Again, at the secondary and primary level, we are looking at the relationship of low mahfuz, the essence relationship with the subtle self. 1, 2, 3. Pandangan sifat, pandangan hakikat, pandangan makrifat. With the certainty of knowledge, you have certainty of vision. That's what. Now we are looking the relationship not from bottom, 1, 2, 3. You look at relationship 3 to 1 now at 3 to 1. Next one will be 4 and 3. Now still 3 to 1, okay? So you must be very clear about it. Okay? If I meet you, stop nonsense about talking about essence or what, unless they are secondary stage people around, okay, I have no objection. But between you and me, you talk nonsense, you watch out. You must be clear. Is the subtle self, the prime mover, the powerhouse that moves the two layers before it. And once you recognize this, you look at the whole world, you throw away the blanket, and we sing, hey, I'm looking at the subtle self, infinity, essence. If that hit you, you may cry. You sit and you go and throw away the layer and see the subtle self. Nothing to do, throw away the layer. Oh my God. You know, sit down, you see your family, your children, your wife, throw away the layer. Oh my God. The subtle self that causes it. So once they recognize the truth, you see their eyes overflowing with tears. They say, oh Lord, we have believed, so write us with the witnesses as our witnesses. The witnesses behind all this is the subtle self in action. So, and in weeping, God measures more the sorrow than the tears you feel. I mean, great depth in you. The feeling is in great depth that you shudder to realize that you are looking at the subtle self. When you take off the blanket, oh my God, everywhere you turn, there's my subtle self. You know, so you got tonight got nothing to do, go and throw away throw away the blanket, right? And hopefully you get the, you know, you got the hit from this realization and make you a better person, inshallah. And as God live, Jesus says, as God live, they are found men from whose tears, even though the tears never fall, but inside him, thousands of tears fell, because these are people who saw the truth and keep to themselves and cried within. Okay? Therefore, I say to you truly that if God our Lord enlighten not the heart of man, then whatever reasoning we use is no use. Okay? You tonight got nothing better to do. Hey, strip away your house. You sit at the hall, strip away the furniture, strip away the TV, you know, and then you start shivering. Best of luck to you, you know? And don't call me, I want to sleep. Okay. Nothing to do. Pak Deka always ask me how to get it. You know, okay, try this one. Okay. So, can the blind be equal to the sea? Will you then consider not? Are those equal, those who know and those who do not know? Okay. So, best of luck to all. Inshallah, we'll meet again next week for Q&A. And of course, this is something new. We are on the college level. Maybe there are things that you want to know further. Welcome any question that you give me. Okay, next week, inshallah. I'll be at Selaya with Andi Mubin and his right. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.